Hey, welcome back to Kim's Keto Kitchen, where I make delicious keto meals that you can make easily in your own kitchen. So I'm back. It's been a couple weeks, I know. I was having trouble with my phone, so I had to get a new one, and of course I had to shop around, and I finally got it. So I'm really excited to be back and show you some really neat recipes, keto recipes, or just recipes that you can eat just to cut back on carbs. I lost 30 some odd pounds, about 35 pounds in the course of 6 months, not really counting macros or anything, just eating low carb. So this is one of the things that I, after a while, was really craving, especially in the summertime. I love wraps, and I kept thinking if I could just get a wrap, a keto wrap, I could throw in vegetables, I could make, well, what I'm gonna do tonight is throw a beef butt, which I found on sale. Meat's been really expensive here, you know. And so I found this beef butt, huge, about 5 pounds, for $5.60 or something on sale. So I'm gonna stick that in the crock pot and let it slow cook, put a little keto barbecue sauce on it. And then I'm going to fill it with veggies and meat and roll them up. These are also delicious just on their own. Sometimes you can have a little bit of oil and put some garlic and herbs in it and dip it in the oil like you see at the restaurants. These are very versatile. They're made only with coconut flour, no eggs, no butter, nothing like that. There are very few ingredients. So let's get started. What I have here is a half cup of coconut flour. Now you have to make sure all the lumps are out because you want it to be smooth. So I'm going to also add all the dry ingredients first. This is 2 tablespoons of psyllium husk powder, which is a form of fiber. It's sort of like Metamucil, but do not use Metamucil. It does not work. I tried it. Psyllium husk powder you can get. I got this right on Amazon. This Now brand is fabulous. And let's see, 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda. So I'm going to take my whisk and try to get all those lumps out before I put the wet ingredients in there. So, gosh, I've missed you guys. And I'm so glad to be back and being able to do what I love here, which is show you how to cook simple and delicious things. So now you have to I have some lukewarm water here, and that will help activate the baking soda. It's going to give it a little lift. Okay, so a cup of water, 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. So no butter, but we have some oil. And I think that's it. And now I'm going to use a spoon. I'm not going to use that whisk because I always run into problems with that. I always get it stuck in the whisk, and then I'm fighting to get it all out. So I'm going to use my rubber spatula here, or spoonula, and it turns out to be this rather lumpy, sandy mixture, which is good. Now I'm going to use this to get that off. I'm going to get every bit into our mixture. There we go. All right. So now comes the kneading, and kneading is about 1 minute, and my hands are perfectly clean. I've washed them before I get in the kitchen, no matter what I'm doing. Now it's a bit sticky right now, and within a minute's time, that coconut flour is going to start it really absorbs easily. That's what I love about coconut flour. It's going to absorb all that liquid and start becoming a little drier and a little bit less sticky. You don't want it sticky, but you want it moist. And my daughter hates that word moist. I know she's going to say something because she watches my videos and always critiques the words I use. One of which is moist, but I'm going to say it. So I'm going to keep kneading until I get it to my desired non-stickiness. See, it's still sticking a little bit to my hands. It's getting there. It's almost there. I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. Okay. It's a beautiful day out there today. I cannot wait to get out there. Yesterday I had my grandson. Maybe someday I'll show you my grandson. He is just a beauty. He's like a little angel choir boy. He's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, beautiful, well-behaved little 1-year-old, believe it or not. Okay, so this is what our dough should look like. I'll come over and show you. It's pliable, but it's not too sticky. It's a dough, okay? So I'm gonna take all the dough off my hands. I'm gonna bring it over here and show you the next step. All right, I have a piece of pre-cut parchment paper. I get this online because it drives me crazy to cut that stuff from the, I'm too lazy, from the roll. So I buy these, it's so convenient. So I'm gonna flatten it out a bit. And now I'm gonna cut it into 4 pieces, okay? You don't really need to flatten it out at that point. It can be just a ball, but I wanted to get it pretty even. Okay, so now you have 4 pieces. This does not mean, however, that we will have 4 tortillas. We are going to have, I hope I told you that they're flatbreads or tortillas, right? Same thing. I'll show you how we're gonna roll these out in just a minute. I'll come back, okay? So for this step, I have taken that triangle shape and made it into a ball shape or circular shape. And I put it on the parchment paper. I took another piece of parchment paper. And now I'm going to roll it into a circle. And how you do that is you just have to keep going back and forth and back and forth. Now, I like to roll mine pretty thin, keeping in mind, you can roll it as thick or thin as you like, but I like it pretty thin because it does puff up a bit because of that baking soda. I don't know if I told you guys, but each of these wraps is about 2.5 net carbs. That means minus the fiber. Because of the fiber that we have in here, the psyllium husk, it does take some of those carbs away. You just subtract it from the whole, the amount of carbs, and subtract the fiber from the carbohydrates, and that's how you get net carbs. My goodness. Okay, so it's been a while since I've been on. Can you tell? I'm all tongue-tied. So, all right, so I rolled it out pretty thin. I always have trouble with the edges. I'm gonna really get those edges a roll out. Okay. Let's see. Yep. Okay, so now I'm gonna lift it. And I'm going to use, I like my tortillas to be at least 8 inches in diameter. So I'm gonna use a lid to cut it. This is about an 8-inch lid. You can use anything you like. If you can do it freehand, bless you. I couldn't. Now you see the extra that I'm tearing off? No, it doesn't have to be perfect either. These, every time I roll one out, these extra pieces are going to create at least 2 more tortillas for me. So in total, I will have 6 tortillas. Now let me show you what, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move you closer so you can see it. So here I am, I'm back now. I have it cut into, oh boy, into an 8-inch circle. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is to take the paper and just, and there's oil, about a teaspoon of oil on the bottom of a medium-low pan. I'm gonna do this because every time I try to flop it in there, it wrinkles up, and I want it to be nice. There we go. Nice and flat, and there it is. You wait 2 to 3 minutes, flip it, and then 1 to 2 minutes on the other side. So I'll come back when they're all done. Look at that. So it was 2 minutes on one side, 1 to 2 on the other. Very pliable, sticks together. Looks delicious. I've got my next one in here. So I'll show you when we have them all together, and then we'll do a taste test, okay? Okay guys, gonna get real here. The first one I put in just completely stuck to the pan. And then it suddenly occurred to me that when I did these before, I used a really great Tefal no-stick pan. Don't have that anymore. So I used this other supposedly non-stick pan. So what happened was I just had to lower the heat a bit and I added more oil. Every time I put one in, I added probably a good tablespoon of oil. So it behooves you to get yourself or use a really good nonstick pan for these because they do stick. So, so it's okay. This is real life here, okay? So I made about 3 really good ones. Pliable, nice. They puff right up, but as soon as they cool, obviously they will deflate on you. And then we had this one, which I will probably use with oil or whatever. And this one. The last 2 were wonky. No problem. This is how cooking is, is real. This is what happens. You make do, you figure it out, you have yourself a laugh, and move on and enjoy it. So I'm going to take a little taste from this wonky one. Wonky meaning weird. It has a great, it feels like pita bread, or tortilla. It definitely has, it doesn't have that almond flour taste. It definitely has a little bit of coconut taste to it, which is kind of like a sweetness behind it. So what I probably will do next time is add a pinch of salt, take it to the more savory end. You can keep it here like this without the salt and maybe fill it with Nutella or whipped cream or cream and berries or whatever you want. You can make it sweet as well as savory. But if it's going to be sweet, keep the salt out. But I would definitely put the salt in it. It's lacking a saltiness, but it's good. I mean, I was even thinking when I was making these, I could probably add some Italian herbs. Everything but the bagel seasoning would be yummy. And fill them, it's endless what you could fill them with. They're sort of like little crepes as well. So, I hope you enjoyed this. Tonight we're going to enjoy this with our barbecue pork pot and some lettuce, tomato, whatever we can find in the fridge. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm glad to be back, and I want to thank you for coming into Kim's Keto Kitchen. I'll see you next week, okay? Have a great day. Bye.